We're driving a 2022 Genesis G70. Coming up, we're going to tell you why the G70 is the perfect ride for Uber drivers. But first, information explosion. It's hard to believe, but the 2022 Genesis G70 is just a mid-cycle refresh, because from the exterior, it sure looks like a lot more, and even on the inside. Let's get the review moving. Interior!
It feels so luxurious in here. Knurl knobs for days.
So many knurls.
Leather.
Leather and stitch.
Is this leather?
Well, that's leatherette, but this is Napa leather.
Wow.
You've got stitching, beautiful red stitching, by the way. And I really like this fish scale inspired trim. Though I will point out that right down here, at certain sun angles, it just blinds you. If only there were a solution. Thanks, Flying Eyes. Brand integration. Now, one of the Achilles heels, and I guess normally you would only have one of those, so saying
yes.
Plural is weird, but the challenge with the G70 is space.
And I'm even feeling that in the front seat with a tiny child in the back.
And when I'm seated in the rear behind my ideal front seat position, I got just enough clearance for my head, just enough clearance for my knees. I'm 5'10" before you ask. And
thank goodness for those knee holes.
Yes, you got the knee holes. Cargo space is a similar challenge. So the trunk is only 10.5 cubic feet, which is like the smallest in this category, which is like a compact luxury sedan category. So there's not a lot of space in here. As long as we're talking about space, let's talk about family friendliness. What do you think about getting kiddo in and out?
Oh, she climbed right in and out. This is a great height for her.
Totally, yeah, that's the beauty of a sedan if you've got a little one. And this is a new one. We like latch flaps, but these are spring-loaded latch flaps. You don't have to take a piece off and lose it.
Love that.
It's retractable, so you just push it in, there's a little spring, and then it just pops back out to cover when you're not using it. Super, super simple. So the NHTSA hasn't rated it. However, there are so many safety features in the vehicle. 10 airbags, including a center airbag so we don't whack into each other if we get into a collision, and a driver knee airbag. Obviously there's lane keeping assist, automatic emergency braking, but there's something really cool with that automatic emergency braking feature called junction turning, where if you're at an intersection and you start to turn in front of a car coming the other direction, it will detect that and apply the brakes.
Ooh.
This is specific to where we live in the mountains, but you've had this happen where you're coming around a windy corner on our mountain drives, and there's a car in a corner, and the car you're driving thinks, oh no, I'm about to hit that car. That happened to me driving the Genesis G70.
Dang. Does it just make a noise, or does it apply brakes?
In my case, it only applied the noise, but if it had suddenly applied the brakes as though I were about to collide, then that creates danger from behind, like if a car is following me. Oh, the other cool thing too is that there's a system that will warn you if you're about to exit and a car is approaching from behind. So you don't like open a door and have it like ripped off dramatically like a 80s cop movie. What do we think? Is the Genesis G70 family friendly?
Family friendly-ish? Is that a thing?
You know, if we always say family friendly, then it has no meaning. I'm gonna say it is not family friendly.
Ooh.
Unless you really like fun, in which case you can probably make it work. Rear window test. All the way down. Armrest test. In a comfortable 8 and 4. I wish this one was a little bit outboard because it's a little bit of a reach for the perch, but they're roughly even height and soft, and the stitching is on the side rather than on the top. I'm gonna go 3/4 up on both the inboard and the outboard armrests. Hey, have you subscribed to our channel? If you haven't, please do. At 100,000 subs, we're gonna review a windowless white van. Style!
This car is so stylish. I love the integrated headlights where there's just like 2 tiny slits that look like they're flush with the metal, and then there's a similar thing happening on the back. It almost makes it look like a little sports car with a little front lip spoiler or something. It's very stylish.
I agree. I would describe it as gorgeous. That's what's remarkable to me is that this is a refresh, but that twin bar lighting motif and the reworked grille and just all the other details to me make this like an absolutely stunning looking vehicle. I think it's fantastic. What do you think? Do you think the G70 is fantastic looking? And if not, why not? I guess maybe the bigger question, is the grille too big? I don't think so.
I don't think so
Yeah,
either.
I think it's okay. But if you disagree, please tell us we're stupid in the comments. If you're curious what I'm driving or flying between YouTube videos, give me a follow over on Instagram. And if you're curious what our family is up to, give Evie a follow. In motion!
Are you about to get super technical right now?
I mean, not so technical that you have to have a nut break. Everybody settle in, get your nuts ready, Micah's gonna talk. Nah, I was just gonna talk about ride quality, which I think is commendable. It's a luxury vehicle, and it lives up to that reputation. One area where I'm really pleased with the G70 is the powertrain that we're driving is the 3.3 liter twin turbocharged V6. This is a carryover from the previous model, but I really like it. So we're just cruising along here. I'm gonna put it into comfort mode, and then I'm just gonna start leaning into it. There was no downshift, it just immediately started pulling. There's this prompt torque delivery that is super, super satisfying, and now I floored it. Whee!
Whoa.
So what's really fun, sorry car.
I did not like that.
One fun thing is that in the gauge cluster here, the tachometer goes beep, immediately goes to like the revs, and then you can hear the engine come up to speed. So it's trying to fool you visually into thinking the revs are happening more quickly than they actually are.
Ooh, that's so sneaky.
That's part of the fun trickery of driving a G70. Nonetheless, I think the downshifts are relatively prompt, and there's a manual shift down there. Now we're down to third. I think the 8-speed automatic transmission works great. I really like the powertrain. Now, as we get up to speed here a little bit, we're turning. The steering feels confident, and I like the sort of precision of the steering wheel. But precise steering is a little bit different from great steering feel. One thing I have noticed is that when you drive at a rollicking pace, hey, rollicking, don't get to use that word enough in videos, it's a little unclear when you're approaching the limits of the car. And so I think a little bit more communication would be nice. But hey, isn't that true for everything? Oh no. You're defying my point by not communicating, sweetie. I would describe the steering as prompt but aloof.
Like Superman.
It's a very funny line, only slightly interrupted by the ceremonial overheating of the GoPro. It's amazing. Let's see what we can get done before all the other ones stop working. Hello, slow Volvo. What do you know?
I know how to slow you down, Micah.
You know what really slows me down?
For you.
The brakes slow me down. Great brake feel. This has the optional Brembo brakes, and they feel awesome. All right, while I'm lingering behind this V60, slowing me down, let's have Evie drive. Sweetie's at the wheel, and we're pulling out. This will be a good opportunity because it's a little bit of a, not a blind corner, but you want to get ahead of it.
I'd say it's blind. I can't see a thing.
Try creeping out. So you can see where the... Okay, needless full throttle acceleration, though it feels a little needed.
Whee!
Tail started to step out just a little bit. Stability control intervened.
Thank you, Tam.
How did that feel?
That felt like it gave me a lot of power. So much that I didn't control it properly.
Well, that's what the car is here for.
Yep.
In olden times, you might have Mustang Cars and Coffee style spun back into the crowd.
Woo!
But in this case, it was totally fine. So plenty of power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a very smooth feeling car.
Well, this one has the adaptive suspension, and so right now, in fact, this is a perfect opportunity to demonstrate it. You are in tour mode, or rather comfort mode.
Okay.
Let's put you in sport mode and see what you notice. What changes now?
I feel like I can feel the subtle vibrations of the road in a way I couldn't before.
Suspension changes a little bit. You might have also noticed that the exhaust gets a little bit louder.
I did not
Maybe
notice.
went down a gear. And did you notice that the side bolsters squeezed in a little bit?
Oh, that's useful. I'm really going to appreciate that when you get back behind the wheel.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, so you're in sport mode right now.
Whee!
I can already tell that you feel confident behind the wheel because you're going through with more speed than Sweetie normally would.
And that is recommended, probably.
No, you're well below the limits. But yeah, how's it feel as you motor around here? Are you experiencing something approaching fun?
I don't understand how any of the steering systems work, but I like the way this one feels.
Nice. I'm glad you're digging it. And then lastly, any blind spot issues, anything jumping out to you?
As usual, I hate this pillar.
Yeah, the big B pillar.
Yeah, it's a pretty thick one, but I can see past it a little bit.
It sounds like overall this is a pretty successful vehicle for your needs.
Yes, I'll just finish the video here. Thanks.
My clap says otherwise. Yeah, so let's get past this Volvo V60 that will never vacate the left lane. Jerk. And I think this is a very fun driving package. There are maybe some little tweaks I might make here and there, but overall, the driving vibe matches the exterior, and I love that holistic excellence.
These bolsters are coming in handy.
Bolsty, the bolster says, I'm going to keep you in place.
Thanks, Bolsty.
Moving on, emotion factor. Sweetie, you're putting your coffee down. Is that so you can focus solely on the emotion factor of the G70?
The emotion factor is so strong in here. There's such a luxurious vibe on the interior, such a sporty vibe when you're driving it. The exterior is beautiful. Yes, lots of emotion here.
Totally. I was taken by the exterior. When I opened the door, you see the red stitching and all the little details in here that to me scream genuine luxury, not second-tier cheap luxury. Yeah, I think it's a highly emotive package. If you're feeling emotionally moved to buy a G70 of your very own, click the Kelley Blue Book listing link in the description below. Remarks! Remark number one, in the beginning of the video, I teased that I was going to tell you a feature of the G70 that makes it the perfect ride for an Uber driver. They have this thing called the passenger walk-in feature, and it's these little buttons right here on your seat that you can use to move it forward if you need to, if somebody's getting in the back. So there you are, doing your Uber shifts in your $50,000 Genesis G70, and you need to make room for the person in back. You don't have to get out of the car. You can just move it up right from the convenience of the front driver's seat. If you're doing Uber drives in your Genesis G70, please leave a comment. Let's talk about the infotainment system. It's a standard 10.25-inch screen here, and that's newly standard for 2020. What do you think?
This seems generous for the standard size. I love the usability of the infotainment here.
Super simple to make your way through, placed high so it's close to your field of view. I think it works great. Some people might complain that there's no little all-controlling controller to operate it, but get a microfiber and you'll be able to wipe those smudges off just fine.
Or greatly lower your standards, like we have.
Yeah, you know what's a really gross word? Smudge. It just sounds gross. Ah, and now that camera has overheated. Oh, GoPro, will you ever learn?
Will we ever learn?
Will anyone ever learn?
I don't know. We're getting existential. Hold that thought. Time has passed, we're on a freeway, everything has changed. Let's figure out what we're talking about. What we haven't talked about yet is the 360-degree camera system, a ton of angles, high resolution, and look, it's your favorite thing.
Ooh, I love a dedicated parking camera button.
We all have our passions. Speaking of digital stuff, in the gauge cluster, you've got an 8-inch digital display, analog for the speedometer side, and then digital on the right side, including the tachometer. And as I turn the turn signal, it shows me what's in my blind spot. Cool. As mentioned, we're driving the 3.3-liter twin turbocharged V6 engine, which is the more powerful choice, but there is a base 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. No surprises, the 4-cylinder is less powerful and more efficient. One more powertrain note, they used to offer a manual transmission in the G70, but for 2022 they have dropped that because not enough people bought it. But what you can still get is all-wheel drive on any G70, which is available for $2,100. One advantage of the GoPro's overheating is that we are now on a freeway, or a highway, just for proper terminology, and we're going to use highway driving assist. Let's see how it works. So highway driving assist basically keeps you in your lane and maintains distance from the vehicle ahead of you.
It even went around the little corner.
Yep. So I'm noticing a few too many steering corrections here. It's kind of a wide lane, so the car's trying to figure out where it should go. It feels like I'm weaving just a little bit, but it seems to be working well enough here, I guess. I'm not sure this is better than me driving for myself, but whatever.
I might like that.
Babe, you got to learn to trust yourself, or at least be more competent. So which G70 should you buy? Honestly, I think you could buy the absolute cheapest $37,500 2-liter turbocharged trim and be perfectly happy. It includes all the essentials. Yeah, you could totally buy the cheap one and be fine with it. That said, the one I would buy is this exact car.
Because it's so pretty.
Well, it's super pretty, but yeah, that 3.3 liter engine is awesome. And on the rear-wheel drive Sport Prestige trim, you get things like a limited slip differential, Brembo brakes, adaptive dampers, plus all of the Napa leather and the stitching and all the fancy stuff. It's just such a nice car, everybody. So I could be perfectly happy with the base car, but I think I would be a little more happy with this car.
Just a little.
Among the competitors are familiar names in the compact luxury sedan category: BMW 3 Series, Audi A4, Mercedes-Benz C-Class, all lovely cars. But the Genesis G70 has some advantages. It's cheap, comparatively cheap. It has a long 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And it's also a little bit more of an esoteric choice. There are a lot of places where, yeah, like the C-Class is just kind of the lever you pull when you want to show people that you've made it. This is another way to do that. That's a little less common.
The cheap esoteric choice? I'm in.
Are there any remarks we missed? If so, tell us in the comment section. Synopsis! In thinking of the essence of the Genesis G70, I'm reminded of, what is that farro salad that you make during summer months?
Oh, yes, Charlie Bird's farro salad.
Charlie Bird's farro salad. It's like, it's a good salad, but then you do that little sprinkle of the Malden sea salt on it, and it gets even better.
Maybe a little squirt of lemon?
Little squirt of lemon, yeah, exactly. It's like they took the salad, the previous G70, and they added just a little bit of salt and a little bit of acid and made it really amazing. To me, the Genesis G70 is the, was it Charlie Bird summertime salad of luxury compact sedans? Do you have a better synopsis? If so, tell us in the comments. If you're curious what we're doing between YouTube videos, give us a follow over on Instagram. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, you could also subscribe. Family, I think that was a very successful review. Can I have a high five? And you. And you. Come get your high five. Ah!